Let's talk about a revolution that's, well, literally reshaping our world from the ground up. It's called Construction 4.0, and it's completely changing how we build everything, from our homes all the way up to our cities. So, to get started, just think about this for a second. What if building a skyscraper worked just like building a smartphone? Sounds a little out there, right? But that single idea is really at the heart of the huge shift we're diving into today. But to really get a grip on Construction 4.0, we kind of have to zoom out. Because this isn't just happening in a bubble. It's a huge part of a much, much bigger story. The story of industrial revolutions. I mean, the construction industry is absolutely massive, a global giant. But for decades, it's been pretty much stuck. Just imagine a project where the architect, the engineer, and the builder are all using different tools, maybe even speaking different languages, figuratively speaking. That's the fragmentation we're talking about. And the result? Well, while manufacturing productivity has just shot through the roof, construction has barely moved. So yeah, this industry is more than ready for a serious upgrade. And that upgrade? It's arriving right now as part of what we call the Fourth Industrial Revolution, or Industry 4.0. You can see how we got here. Industry 3.0 gave us computers, basic automation. But Industry 4.0 is the next giant leap. It's not just about having computers anymore. It's about connecting everything. The machines, the sensors, the people into one single intelligent network that just blurs the line between the digital and the physical worlds. So, that's the big question, isn't it? How does this kind of abstract idea of an industrial revolution actually translate to the mud, sweat, and steel of a real-life construction site? And this is where we get right to the core of it. What exactly is Construction 4.0? Well, at its heart, Construction 4.0 is basically the construction industry's answer to Industry 4.0. It's a whole new framework for taking all those game-changing principles, connectivity, data, automation, and applying them directly to how we build. And believe me, it's so much more than just a bunch of fancy new gadgets. It's a totally different way of thinking. The whole thing really rests on two big foundational ideas. So the first one is something called Cyber Physical Systems, or CPS for short. Now that sounds super technical, but the idea is actually pretty simple. Think of it like this. A sensor on a piece of heavy equipment, that's the physical part, detects that it's starting to overheat. It instantly sends that data to a central computer, the cyber part, which analyzes the problem and automatically tells the machine to slow down. That's a physical action driven by digital data. It's this constant, intelligent loop between the real world and the project's digital brain. Now, these smart systems are amazing on their own, but they become a total game changer when they can all talk to each other. And that brings us to the second pillar of all this. And that second pillar is the digital ecosystem. This is what finally breaks down all those communication barriers we talked about. It's basically a shared digital space where everyone, the architect, the engineer, the on-site manager, you name it, can see and work with the exact same information in real time. The perfect example is a building information modeling, or BIM tool. It's like a single shared 3D digital blueprint for the entire project that everyone works on together. So here's the easy way to remember it all. You take a powerful digital ecosystem that gets everyone on the same page. Then, you add in those intelligent cyber-physical systems that connect your digital plan to the physical site. You put those two together and boom, you've got Construction 4.0. Okay, so we've got the big idea down. Now let's get practical. Let's pop the hood and take a look at the actual core technologies that make this whole thing work. The whole framework basically operates on two layers that are constantly talking to each other. So up top, you've got the digital layer. Think of this as the brain where all the planning, the design, and the data analysis happens. And below it is the physical layer. That's the actual construction site with real people, materials, and machines. The real magic happens in that constant flow of information between these two worlds. And right at the very heart of it, connecting these two layers is what we call the single source of truth. This is made up of the BIM, that shared digital blueprint we keep mentioning, and something called a Common Data Environment, or CDE. The CDE is just a central, secure hub where every single piece of project data lives. Everything flows through here, which is what makes a truly connected project even possible. And this all breaks down into some incredible technologies. So in that digital layer, you might have a drone that's scanning the site, feeding data to an AI that automatically flags a potential safety hazard. And then in the physical layer, that exact same data could guide a robot to perfectly place a wall panel that was 3D printed in a factory hundreds of miles away. See, each piece feeds into the whole system.
And what this creates is this powerful self-improving loop. Data from the physical site is turned into digital insight, and that insight then drives a smarter action back in the physical world. This cycle, physical to digital and then back to physical again, is the real engine of Construction 4.0. It's what makes every project smarter and more efficient than the last.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the how. But what about the why? I mean, what's the real-world payoff for this massive shift in technology? Let's dig into the real benefits. Why go through all this trouble? What does a project actually get by adopting this way of thinking? Well, the promise here is a complete game changer. Instead of finding out you're over budget weeks after it happened, you see it in real time. Instead of safety being a clipboard and a checklist, it's being actively monitored by sensors. We're talking about seamless communication instead of messy email chains. Ultimately, it transforms construction from this kind of chaotic, unpredictable process into something that looks a lot more like a modern, super efficient factory assembly line. And as the authors who really mapped out this whole framework put it, the ultimate goal here is to transform the industry into a more efficient and transparent enterprise. Simple as that.
And look, this isn't science fiction. This framework is being built right now, one project at a time. Which really just leaves us with one final, crucial question to think about. As our entire world gets more and more connected, what's the first step you or your industry can take to start building smarter?